In the infantry, they spend months teaching you how to take a life. They teach you how to squeeze a trigger, call in an airstrike, and neutralize a threat. But if you're the guy carrying the trauma bag, if you're the platoon medic, your entire world is about pulling guys back from the edge. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about the heaviest hands in the United States military, the hands of a doc. Specialist Ryan Evans didn't look like a hero. He was 21, a skinny kid from Cleveland, Ohio, who joined the Army because he wanted to pay for nursing school. But to the 30 grunts in 3rd Platoon, Evans wasn't just a kid. He was Doc. He was their lifeline. In the mountains of the Korengal Valley, a place soldiers called the Valley of Death, Doc was the only thing standing between them and a folded American flag. You see, a combat medic doesn't carry a lot of ammo. His weapon is the tourniquet. His armor is the gauze, and his worst enemy isn't the guy shooting at him. It's time. In military medicine, they call it the golden hour. If Doc can keep you breathing for 60 minutes and get you on a dust-off chopper, you'll probably live to see your mama again. But what happens when Doc has to decide who gets that hour? The radio crackled. "Contact front! Contact left!" Heavy machine gun fire tore through the trees like a chainsaw. RPGs slammed into the dirt, kicking up massive clouds of black smoke and rock. Doc hit the dirt hard, the breath knocked out of his lungs. The noise was deafening, a physical wall of sound that vibrates in your teeth. "Medic, we need Doc up front." When you hear your name screamed like that, your blood runs ice cold. But training takes over. Doc didn't freeze. He low-crawled through the dirt, bullets snapping the air inches above his helmet. He dragged his heavy aid bag over the jagged rocks until he reached the front of the formation. Through the dust, he saw the nightmare. 3 guys were down, 3 of his brothers, and Doc was the only medic on the ridge. The platoon sergeant was screaming into the radio for close air support, but the birds were 20 minutes out. Doc was on his own. He had to perform triage under heavy fire. Triage is a cold, brutal math. It means deciding who is hurt the worst and who actually has a chance to survive. Doc moved to the first soldier. It was the point man. He had a severe leg wound. Doc's hands, covered in dirt and shaking from adrenaline, slapped a tourniquet high and tight on the leg. He cranked the windlass down until the bleeding stopped. "You're good, brother! Stay with me!" Doc yelled over the gunfire. He crawled to the next man. It was Smitty. Doc's heart stopped. Smitty had taken a round straight through the gap in his body armor. He was pale. His eyes were wide and searching the sky. He was struggling to breathe, a tension pneumothorax building in his chest. Doc grabbed a decompression needle. He knew exactly what to do. But before he could insert it, someone screamed again. The 3rd man, the radio operator, was hit in the neck, arterial bleed. He had less than 90 seconds before he bled out. Doc froze for a fraction of a second. If he saves the radio operator, Smitty might suffocate. If he saves Smitty, the radio operator will definitely bleed to death right in front of him. It is a choice no 21-year-old should ever have to make. A choice that burns a hole in a man's soul. Doc moved. He lunged toward the radio operator, his hands instantly applying intense, direct pressure to the neck wound. The blood was warm and slippery. He held it with everything he had, screaming for someone else to help Smitty. But everyone was pinned down returning fire. For 4 agonizing minutes, Doc held the radio operator's life in his hands. He stopped the bleeding. He saved him. But when Doc finally turned back, Smitty's eyes were fixed. The chest had stopped moving. The platoon clown, the kid who was going to buy a motorcycle, was gone. When the Medevac chopper finally arrived, chopping through the smoke, Doc helped load the 2 surviving soldiers. He stood on the landing zone, covered in the blood of his brothers, watching the bird fly away. The silence that followed the firefight was the loudest thing he had ever heard. He had saved 2 men, but all he could feel was the ghost of the one he couldn't get to in time. People call medics heroes, and they are. But they don't tell you that a medic carries a graveyard in his mind. Years later, Ryan Evans is out of the Army. He's a civilian nurse now. He saves lives every single day. But every year, on the anniversary of that ambush, he drives to a quiet cemetery in Ohio. He sits down next to a white marble headstone that reads Corporal Miller. He cracks open 2 beers. He drinks one and pours the other into the grass. He doesn't say much. He just sits there with the heavy hands that did the best they could on the worst day of his life. To every doc, corpsman, and medics who carried the trauma bag down range, we know you carry the invisible weight of the ones you couldn't save. We see you, we honor you, and we forgive you, even if you haven't forgiven yourself. If this story hit home for you, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and share this video. Drop a thank you, Doc, in the comments to honor our combat medics. Until next time, stay safe and watch each other 6. Video created by Sub81M Rock.